There are a number of persons who believe several things, even as Christians or as believers. They believe several things that they came to meet, and it's just because it is generally accepted. But there is a group of believers in the book of Acts chapter 17 and verse 11, where Paul talks about the more noble believers. This set of believers don't just believe what is said or what is generally accepted, but what they have confirmed by their studies of scriptures. And today I want to point to us and to show to us clearly that hell is not an eternal judgment or punishment from God, as we have believed over the years. Even if it has been believed over the years and preached over the years, let us look at the scripture and confirm whether it is true or not. Although there are many other scriptures in the Old Testament and the New Testament that will show us that this is not true. Hell is not an eternal and endless punishment from God. But today I want us to just look at Psalm chapter 103 from verse 7. From verse 7, it said, He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto the children of Israel. Verse 8, The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide. That word chide means he will not always be angry for wrongdoing. Neither will he keep his anger forever. The scripture in that book of Psalm chapter 103 tells us the ways of the Lord. He said the way of the Lord is that he will not always be angry. He will not be angry forever. And many of us have believed and have claimed that hell is actually God's punishment for sinners. Why I won't talk about that right now. This scripture tells us even if let's assume that hell is God's punishment for the unbelievers, even if God were to be angry with the unbelievers, Psalm chapter 103 tells us that God's anger is never forever. God is never endlessly angry. And God will not always, God will not continually chide. God will not continually express his anger against the wrongdoers. And if that is true, then it is very clear that hell is not an endless punishment from God for the unbelievers. And like I said, there are many other scriptures in the Old and New Testament, but this scripture is my focus today. God's anger is not endless. The Lord is merciful. The Lord is gracious. He's slow to anger. And a time will come, I will show to us what the Hebrew word for anger actually means. But this scripture says he's slow to anger and plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide, neither will he continually be angry forever. And that simply means that hell is not forever. Even if we claim or say that hell is God's punishment for the sinner, hell is not forever. It doesn't matter what I've preached it. It doesn't matter how many years you have believed it. No matter how long you believe a lie remains a lie. No matter how long you believe what is not true, it remains false. And God is beginning to open our eyes to certain truths. And just like in subsequent teachings and messages that will be seen on this channel, I want to understand that God is never angry forever. And you will come to see as we go on that hell is not God's endless punishment for sinners. Is there hell? Yes, there is hell. But it is not God's endless punishment for sinners. God bless you and do have a nice day.